Dun, dun, dun.
Welcome back to the Good Dude, Good Dad podcast. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ben, and we have sucked at recording.
We have. Yeah, there's no excuse.
Here's the lowdown. Again, we've talked about this being kind of like that side hustle, side project, passion project, which it is. But the last few weeks have been insane. Obviously, Jordan talked about on one of our last episodes before George about they were expecting their third kid. I'll let him to get into that. But yeah, man, life's been crazy. Work's been crazy. And here we are trying to get back into our routines, our schedules. We want to obviously have this as a priority, but I think something that is very useful to kind of talk about and touch on is just sometimes, you always talk, or people always talk about work-life balance, as you were kind of just saying before you hit record, but I feel like sometimes work-life balance doesn't really exist if you have chosen a path that is not a normal 9 to 5. And again, if you have a 9 to 5, that wasn't a dig at that. That was just when you choose a certain lifestyle, you choose a certain job lifestyle or career path, depending what that is. Sometimes situations are dictated by that, right?
Yeah.
As being business owners, things are constantly changing and adapting and evolving. And, Hidden House has almost been around for 15 years, and I'm still going through once in a while,
a little behind with that one.
But like, a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, one of our stores was just super shorthanded.
Yeah.
And after 14 and a half years, caught myself having to help, cover shifts and stuff. And, at the end of the day, it's like, it's my business. So yeah, I should be doing that. But, when you're doing something for so long and you jump right back into 10 years ago type mentality, I think it's such a powerful tool to really show that sometimes things just don't work out the way they're supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta just figure it out, right? So, that's just kind of the long-winded version of life has been nuts the last month for each one of us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's the perfect example is exactly you're the coffee shop and the cafe. Like we both have set systems up in place so that we didn't have to be, so you could have a work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
But there was a famous general that was like, you can plan all you want, but then the enemy gets a vote.
Yeah.
It's like life sometimes just gets a vote, like
sure.
you can't help that. Employees get awesome opportunities and they have to leave, or, they just happen to take off, or, somebody gets sick, or somebody goes down. Or
someone gets fired.
So it's like, it's, you can go from like, hey, I have all these systems in place, I have everything running smoothly, to not running smoothly very quick.
Yeah.
And it just happens,
Yeah. And before you know it, 4 weeks have gone by.
4 weeks have gone by, and you're just like, what the crap?
Yeah, dude, 4 weeks ago, how old's Paisley?
She's 7 weeks today.
So 4 weeks ago, you had a literal newborn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a newborn, but
Still a newborn.
like newborn. We were in a presidential election, which that's wild.
Yeah.
Yes. Work's been nuts.
We haven't even boxed. When was the last time we went boxing? That was like,
it's been like 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah. That's crazy. I mean, it just we love doing this podcast, but right now it's not paying any of our bills.
Yeah.
So obviously you have to prioritize. But
I think before you switch gears though, is one thing that has been really cool, even though we haven't put out an episode in a couple of weeks, dude. I feel like we do have to get George that honorary trophy award that he was talking about that he wants. But I have had so many people talk to me about his episodes.
Really?
Yeah. I had a staff member when I walked in. It's like, hey, I just finished George's episode. He's like, man, like I forget how he said it, but basically how much listening to that gave him more appreciation for the things that he had growing up type stuff,
Gives you perspective.
And yeah, dude, it's so cool to see, people's stories genuinely changing the way people perceive something, or what we've talked about, what we want to create is some type of emotional response to someone's story, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's anger or happiness or sadness or joy or you guys are dumb, shut up. Like
Yeah.
we want to create some type of emotional value there that can cause some form of a reaction. And I've even had people comment on my pastor Keith's episode,
Yeah.
like literally being like, "Holy crap, that's not the lifestyle I would have thought that guy had." And it's a reminder to me as we weren't recording in these last few weeks,
Right.
still having those people come up to me and they're listening to an episode from a month ago. And it was refreshing. It was cool because obviously our podcast is tiny. Like we don't put a lot of effort into it as of yet.
Yeah.
In the sense of making it grow. But the fact that, since we've started, the amount of people that have commented on other people's stories and what it's done for them has been so cool.
Yeah, it was actually really cool. I didn't get a chance to tell you, like Pastor Keith's. We have a little clip on our Instagram, right? Just like a reel. His in the last like week, his little reel out of nowhere, because we put out that episode like over
like
a month ago,
right?
yeah, over
Let's see
that,
if I
over
can
that,
see it.
and it jumped like 500 views. It was like it's outperforming some of your other reels right now. And it was pretty cool. It's just like out of nowhere that it had that jump. But yeah, his story was so impactful. The cool part is that we have. It's not like we don't have a depth of people to jump. Like hearing after Georgia's story, I've had a dude from our church. Him and I ran into each other the other day, and he was like, "Yo, dude, I heard your podcast. I'd love to come on and tell my story." And he's got, dude, talk about
Story.
a heavy story like George. But he's excited. He wants to come on and link up with us and do his own thing. And he's actually he has an Instagram that's blown up too. That's like they have like almost 200,000 followers out of
Sheesh.
nowhere. Yeah, and it was not something he was trying to do. He's like he actually has he has a construction company. One of his buddies or one of the kids that works for him is the one that runs the whole social media for him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's like, I don't even want anything to do with it. It just happened. But
Yeah.
This platform's been so awesome to have friends of ours on and people that we know, and a couple people that we don't know come on and just share their life, and share their story, share what struggles they went through, and just lets everybody know that at the end of the day, you were blessed with an amazing life, and now you get to take advantage of that, or you might have had a very, very rough time going and growing, but you can make something amazing out of it,
Yeah. Yeah, and dude, I think what's cool about it, and there are other podcasts like this, obviously.
Yeah.
Some with massive names, some with no names, some with, whatever. But I think what's another thing that's so sick is the way we format our podcast is we don't edit anything. We have open communication. We send, a couple questions to the guest, but outside of that, it's genuinely them just sharing the real raw version of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no production behind it. There's no any of that. It's trying to get real people in front of the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the goal, right? Like a lot of people have platforms that they want to grow for whatever the purpose is. Like for us, it's genuinely like, what is a good dude and a good dad? You could be a female and still want a good dude and a good dad in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just directed at dads. We want to impact, young men to old men in the hopes of genuinely like creating this thing that can help promote better men.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like women would want better men as well. It's not just for that, but
Yeah, part of the reason this got started too is that I had friends of mine that are, single moms that have young boys, and it's like this is something that they can put on for them, when a couple of the episodes you might want to pre-listen to.
Yeah.
Make sure they're at the right age for that. But that they can listen to and let their kids listen to, so that they're getting an example of what it's like to be, what it is to be a man, and how to be a man of character, and how to be a man of integrity, and how to be a man that stands for principles and values. And and you might not, so that if they don't have a father in their home,
Yeah.
it's a resource for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, dude, for someone listening out there, you might think to yourself, oh man, it's really easy for you guys to sit in there because you're not really going through anything right now. So it's easy to be like a good man, right? But let me tell you, the last few weeks, couple months, there have been numerous times where I wanted to almost drop my character and the man that I've become because of things that are coming at me in different directions that I can't control. But there's been a few times where I was like, it is really difficult right now to honor the things that I say that I do and to continue to conduct myself in a way that is uplifting to the Lord, one, but to my character that I've worked really hard to develop and build. And so, what you see is not always what you get. The amount of just stress and mental fatigue and toll that Jordan as well that we've been going through these last couple months. Like, don't let the exterior fool you sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And it's been a great reminder to myself, dude, of things can get really bad. People can say and do what they want. People will always attack you. But the difference is how we let those things affect us and how we let those things, those situations, those circumstances dictate how we continue to choose to act. And I can tell you right now that I'm not going to let that crap win.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I was reading on that, just to add to that, I was reading a book, it's called like Powerful Moments or something like that, but they said that a lot of times the hardest part of your life or the struggle part of your life is marked with either a price tag or a note. It's either a price tag to let you know that if you try to take a risk or if you try to take a chance or if you choose to go down that route, there's a price that you may have to pay and it's probably going to hurt. Or you can frame it as a note saying that, yeah, I've been through that before and I made it through it. So I know that I'm willing to take a risk again, knowing that I can overcome it.
Yeah.
So it's all a lot about how we take these moments where like, the last couple months have honestly kind of sucked for both of us. How you frame it, I frame it as okay, it's not been fun, but it's not a price tag. It's a note. Like, I've been through it. I'm willing to take the risk to go through it again because the outcome's going to be greater than the
Yeah. Well, dude,
low point.
It's so crazy because when people attack your character and who you are and your financial ability to provide for families, like, that can really obviously dictate how you choose to respond, right? And you can respond guns blazing, like for whatever the reason is, or you can respond in a way of, hey, I'm not going to let this change who I am, what I stand for, what I do. I don't even care if no one's watching. I'm going to continue to still respond in that way. And I just want that to be encouraging for somebody out there. I want you to be able to hear that, and no matter what you're going through, and when you think you're done, you always got a little bit more. Like you do, but it's easier said than done. But you got to be able to choose and decide to continue to want to push forward. And yeah, man, it is wild. People are wild. We're living in a wild day and age. And I just want people to remember, like, hey, no matter what you're going through, find somebody that you can lean on, that you can talk to, that can help walk through it with you. They're not going to fix it for you, but just someone that can walk with you alongside of you, and to sometimes just have a sounding board to let some tension go so you don't boil over. But it's funny because I just got asked, I'm speaking to a school on Monday And one of the messages I got last night, they changed the talk on me. And my now topic for Monday, which I wasn't planning for, but I also don't really prepare, so it works out.
Drive me nuts.
It's the whole thing he wants me to talk to is No Man Left Behind theme. That's the theme he wants me to speak on. Because for this particular talk, it's from 11-year-olds to 14. So what is that, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade? Such formative years, right? And he wants me to speak on No Man Left Behind. Like, what does that mean in the sense of being a Marine? What does that mean in the sense of a social setting in today's climate? What does that mean in a spiritual setting in today's climate?
Yeah.
And, you know, he told me, he's like, hey, I just want to say thank you, like, for even doing this. He was like, he was speaking to the young men in particular, not just the girls, but the young men. And he was like, they need good male role models back in their life or in their life. You know, what you see on TV as a man is not really what I would want my son thinking as a man.
Yeah.
Like, a man isn't just being some roided out, TRT'd up dude, right? That works out every single day. It's being a man in all forms, you know, taking care of your family, your friends, those around you, a simple gesture like holding a door open for someone, conducting yourself in a way that's respectful, but stern, you know, having discipline. All of those things, you know, make a man, not whatever you see on TV, a Lambo, millions of dollars, Botox in your face because you want to look young. You know what I'm saying? Like, those ideas and principles are not what a man is. A man is somebody that stands on his business, you know, and whatever that is. And so it's a cool honor. And again, like, we haven't been recording, and, you know, him asking me to come do this, I was like, dang, he wants me to do this because he thinks I can help maybe provide some value and maybe some encouragement and insight to these young, you know, boys and girls in an age where they need it, you know, especially if you're a Christian. There's so many things telling you not to be, or why it's wrong, or why it's the problem with the world. And there's so many of these things that are pulling you away, you know, the disturbing video games, the freaking porn everywhere you look, OnlyFans, like all these things, like your freaking Instagram and your TikTok, like half naked chicks 24/7.
Dude, it's crazy.
And, you know, and it's just like kind of wild that everything is against, you know, going for what's right. And it was just a reminder when he asked me to speak. I was like, dang, like that's all we want with Good Dude, Good Dad.
Yeah.
Like that's all we want. And anyways, again, we're kind of rambling, but we just wanted to share some encouragement that you know, again, we've had some crazy things happening in each of our lives. But we're here. We're going to keep showing up. We got a month and a half left in this year. So you got to be able to make the best of it.
Right.
You know, accomplish one goal, one milestone, one something. Just, you know, just keep going and get into that new year and keep going.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's been awesome. Even just us talking through what we have planned for through the end of this year. And the beginning of next year outside of, I mean, with Good Dude, Good Dad, outside of Good Dude, Good Dad. Yeah, now's a really good time to start thinking about how you're going to finish the year strong and how you're going to start next year strong too. I had done in the original set of podcast, you know, a yearly check-in, and we're coming close to that point for Caitlin and I. Every year we do a family check-in, or I do a family check-in, and I do a personal check-in, just see where last year took us, reflect on it, learn from it, process it, and then set plans for next year. But yeah, dude. Well, we're going to wrap up this episode. We're excited for, we have guests. It's not like we don't have guests. We actually have more guests than we have time to bring on. But I'm excited to bring on some of those people and do some more episodes. It's just us sharing our brain. And I'm excited for to finish this year strong and to begin next year.
yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Remember, be a good dude, be a good dad.